Hello, 7th graders. Today's lesson is going to be on surface area of a cylinder. So before we learn our new formula for surface area, it's super important to review some circle vocabulary / circle formulas, and we're going to highlight them as we go. So on your iPad, you can see that radius is in orange over here. So we're going to highlight it orange over here. Remember, radius is the distance from the center to the outside of the circle. We also call it halfway across the circle. The radius is halfway across. Diameter, which is the full distance across, is in black over here. So we're going to highlight it black in our vocabulary list. And then circumference is the distance around a circle. So notice circumference, distance around over here. And then you'll also notice that the inside of the circle is shaded yellow. So we're going to highlight area yellow because that shows the space inside of the circle. Now we use the area formula when we learned volume. When we learn surface area, we are going to use all of these formulas. So I found surface area easier if we break it into steps, because if you think of a cylinder, I want you to look down here. If you think of a cylinder, it has three pieces, right? You have a circle on top, a circle on bottom, and then the outside. Well, that outside, if you unwrap it from the cylinder, it looks like a rectangle. So the circumference, which is the distance around, is actually the same as the length of this rectangle. And then the height is a new dimension. So all we have to do for surface area is find the area of the two circles, which we already know area of a circle is pi times r. And then if we find the circumference, which we know is pi times diameter, we can just multiply that by the height to get the area of that rectangle. So if we break this into steps, the first thing we're going to do is find the area of the base, aka the circle. We're finding the area of the circle. In this example, the diameter is 7. To find the radius, we have to half the diameter. So we're going to use 3.5. So when we find the area of the circle, we're going to do pi times radius. And if you type that into your calculator, you should get about 38.5. All right, so because there is a circle both on top and on bottom, we're going to take that number, 38.5, and we're going to multiply it by 2 to include both circles. So this is going to be 77 units squared, centimeters squared. It gives us the units. All right, so now I have the area of the two circles. Now I just need to find the area of that big rectangle. So the first step of finding the area of the outside rectangle is to find the circumference. We're going to do pi times the diameter, which if you type in a calculator, you're going to get 21.98. We're going to round that to 22. All right, so that's the length of the rectangle. Now we multiply that by the height, which is 11.5. If you type in your calculator, you get 253. Okay, so the last step for surface area is we're going to take the area of our two circles plus the area of the rectangle to get the total surface area. Because remember, surface area is the area of all surfaces. So if I add 77, my two circles, plus 253, my rectangle, the total area of all the surfaces is going to be 330 centimeters squared. Surface area is just units squared because it's area, two-dimensional. If we flatten it out, we find a net of the image and find the area of all the sides. That's going to be our surface area. All right, I have one more example for you. This one we're going to really emphasize the steps. And then I want you to try 3 on your own and then play the video to see if you get it right. So the area of the base, that's our circle. To find the area of a circle, we do pi times r, or r squared, so 3.14 times 4 times 4, which should be 50.24. We multiply that by 2 because there are 2 circles. So then 50.24 times 2 is 100.48 to 148 hundredths. Then we're focusing on that rectangle. So the circumference is pi times diameter. If the radius is 4, the diameter is 8. 3.14 times 8 is 25.12. And then we multiply the circumference by the height. The height was 10. So we got 251.2. And then our last step, we're going to take our area of the circles plus our area of the rectangle and get 351.68 centimeters squared. I don't know why I switched pen color. Oh well. All right, I want you to try all 3 of these cylinders. We can do one at a time, but you're gonna pause the video and then you're gonna see if you can figure it out. So plug it into our steps. So find the area of the circle, multiply by 2, find the circumference, multiply by the height, add those 2 numbers, and then play the video back to see if you got them right. Okay, and I do actually want to walk us through this again because there is technically a very long surface area formula that you can plug things into to solve. So I'm going to show you what that formula is. We got area of a circle, so pi times radius times 2, and then plus our second part was to find the circumference, so pi times diameter, and then times the height. So if you find those 2 pieces separately, you're able to add them together and get 25.12 yards squared. So again, if we do that to the second one, we have pi times radius times 2, and then plus pi times diameter times height. I'll do those numbers separately this time. So the first one is 157 and then plus 125.6 is 282.6 inches squared. All right, and then this last problem, if we do pi times radius times 2, we get 25.12. Pi times diameter times height, we get 62.8. Add them together, your surface area is 87 and 92 hundredths inches squared.